Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing is April the 7th, 2025 nightly update. And as we talked about for my members of Jabroni Killers, I asked you earlier, become member Jabroni Killer, $3.99 a month in the video description and or the pinned comments. I asked you to comment what you wanted me to talk about. And Astro Music, lovely Jabroni Killer member, uh, we're talking about it right now. He wants to know, really appreciate how about Quant and Chainlink. So let's look at Quant and Chainlink, and this is one of the things you get as we bring truth, education, trust, and information back into the sphere. If you're a member of Jabroni Killers, when you ask me a question like that, we get you on, try to get you all in the next video. But as we're growing Jabroni Killer members, sometimes we got to break them up into a couple of videos. Where's Quant at? Quant is right here, and we'll look at Quant. I think it's coming down to our target that we had there. And if you look at the daily time frame, you can see the moving averages. Let's just update these before we move on. And you can see where we thought we were going, the 49 cents. We thought we'd have a little bounce back off of that 68, $69 that we started calling for, which we've had the golden bears cross now, and we've had the complete reversal where the long-term moving average is on top. But when we were back here, when quant started getting brought back up into here, we were sitting right in here. We'll make that, that's, can't really see that. We'll make it that color. When we're sitting right into there, we were telling you the top part of this red trading zone and this uptrending 200-day moving average in the daily. That's even hard to see in the daily right there was a critical area, there you go, to watch. And if you broke that, you would come down to this $89, which was the bottom part of this triangle or this support and resistance zone with an underneath target of 68, $69, which was the blue horizontal support and resistance. Then as we started breaking down to there, started highlighting this $49. And I think the $49 is more than likely going to get hit as the broad market sell-off continues. But after you broke down through this key level of $69, what I would expect in the short term here in quant is like we've seen here in quant, we did have the recovery, and you can see we almost came up perfectly to that $69 overhead resistance, and that's the classic reversal. And it's you can say that's confirming the breakdown, but it was on a wick, so I could see it now trading back up in full candle bodies, and then getting rejected by it, right, and coming on down, and then that's the confirmed rejection below the major support level, which would ultimately drive it down to $49. But I do think $49 is going to get taken out here with Quant and then Chainlink. I thought we had Chainlink up here before. Get some Chainlink up here. And we zoom out. Yeah, we've looked at Chainlink before. It might even be on there. And you can see with Chainlink what we were looking at over this was the Donald Trump, the 2024 rally right here, which really started at the beginning of 24, the end of 23, and then it had his blow off the top with the Donald Trump inauguration following rally in the crypto sphere. Let's get rid of that old one. That's disgusting. And you can see we did break down from our high that was up here. If we clone this, where was our high tagged at? Our high was tagged at $31.07. On the way down, you can see we've had the golden bears cross and the moving averages. We put another one up on here, and then we broke down in this green trading support and resistance box. You can see at $11.56 was a major support level, as was a major support and resistance level up here at the $15.36. And now what it looks like is happening in Chainlink, I would say we're coming down at least to our next target would be down here at $8.85. And then we have a key thing sticking out there, which is sitting right in the middle of this red orange trading zone at $8 even is the mean of the volume in Chainlink, right? As we go all the way back here, the mean of the volume in Chainlink, and you can see how long we've been following it. Where when we had this head and shoulders and targeted move, it got down there way back in 2022. That's how long this channel's been here. But that's the mean of the volume there. So I would say a target on the underneath, which would also be a double bottom right here, support which flipped prior back here, a long stable, still do not want to buy you, and you're interrupting my channel, which flipped a long line of 3-year resistance, almost 4-year resistance right there at the $8. So I would say between $8 and that double bottom, that would confirm now a long-term new support, which used to be long-term major upper resistance, and the $8.90 orange part of this trading zone is an underneath target to pay attention to. Thank you for your question. Blah blah blah. This is some felonious. I try to get the spam out of there as best I can, but there's so much of it. But I think we've been doing a pretty good job here. Chainlink, please. We did just do that for you, my good man. I thought there was some other questions. Quant and Chainlink we just did. Oh, so that was two different people asking about Chainlink. So we knocked that out for both of you. Uh, XDC, uh, Casper. We can do two of these because then we'll have to do the rest tomorrow because this video is going to be extremely long. XDC we do have in our normal rotation. We'll go find XDC in here. I know it's here somewhere. Hold on. I know I have XDC. Yeah, XDC. I know you're in here. Did XDC get deleted out of here? It used to be in here. XDC USD. I know we used to have XDC in here. I wish I had the charts. Maybe I just overlooked it. But yeah, XDC had that massive bull run, and it actually did hit a new all-time high. That's fascinating. But now we're on the downtrend, and I would be looking at XDC in the shorter term as a major, just going into the weekly. This was a major support and resistance level right there, right? It's very obvious to see, and that's a major trading zoning where we had after the last breakout in 2023. Look where you consolidated on before you broke down in your capitulation right at that 0.046 level, right? That's a major area, and that'd be an area that I would look for XDC. And I'll have to find our chart for the next video that we have all of our writing on because we do follow XDC. But this is a major area that I would expect it to come down to before you have a nice, any kind of more sustained bounce. I think you're coming down. Your next underneath target is down here at 0.06. Uh, And then you had another question. I don't know why it does that. Goes all the way back into the beginning, and you have to do all this all over again. And I think that's Casper. We'll look at Casper next time because I don't have it on here, but Coreum, we've looked at Coreum a lot, and I do think Coreum right now it's trying to bounce off of that point, the 10-cent level that we talked about. And we do have the all-time low marked on here. And if you break this area of major support on Coreum, I think there's a very good possibility that you could come and tag the all-time low that was set back in December of 2024, according to this chart. And that's something that you have to pay attention to because you can see the volume down here is not good at all. It's very, very porous. And if you slip this area right here, there's a very high likelihood that you come down to the 0.06 level. We have the NASDAQ that a subscriber wanted, but this video is getting long. I'm very tired. We're going to look at the XRP price, and then we'll get the NASDAQ tomorrow. But the growing number of jabroni killers, not it's almost impossible to get everybody's questions, which is a good thing because the channel is growing. So we'll get into the NASDAQ tomorrow. We have the S&P that we'll look at. Another jabroni killer member asked about, and we'll keep incorporating your comments in there. I appreciate y'all. XRP, you can see, did dip down below the 200-day moving average to $1.61. It did not hit our target of the head and shoulders topping up reversal pattern we talked about. We thought somewhere around the 200-day moving average, which is now sitting at $1.94, you would get a bounce, and it wicked all the way down. But you are getting your bounce, and you would look for it to retest the neckline now as major overhead resistance, and then you would confirm a breakdown from there, and that would lead you into your targeted move of this head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern, right as we're having now officially when you wake up tomorrow, this bearish cross will have happened. You can see the 50-day moving average is now only a 2.5 cents above it, with the price having a big fall. The 100-day moving average is running parallel. The head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern that Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing has given you the first mover advantage on way back here in this purple circle in early to mid-January. You can watch any video from that day forward, the last 3 months. This picture's been there. That target's been there. We've been following the right shoulder now the last 2.5 months and watching the breakdown, forecasting it, and giving you the information beautifully. And watching this play out is a thing of beauty and validates the value and the reason this channel is growing. We're changing the narrative. We're infiltrating the infiltrators, and we are bringing truth, trust, education, and information back into the sphere with help from you, the audience, the subscribers, and most importantly, my jabroni killers. And that's the value. But industry best value and cheap, and that's the reason you need to become members. Peace and love. Direct eyebrow. J.